It's Wednesday, and it's 8 p.m. Pacific time. That means you folks are tuning in. This is live, yes. To Merlo's Movie Massacre, episode 20, by the way. How the heck did we get to episode 20? I don't know. I see a few people in the chat already. Susie Lopez, hello. Kenesha Bradley, hey. And Michelle Blasky, what's up? Good. Thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. It's going to be a wonderful, 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 wonderful evening here of horror talk here on Merlo's Movie Massacre. Just wanted to start off by congratulating fellow YouTuber Drayton Timmons for making his Halloween fan film, The Haddonfield Nightmare. If you haven't seen the trailer for that online, go check it out. And they do have an Indiegogo campaign for post-production. They have actually apparently filmed it. But they're doing post-production. I guess they're raising money for like a really tight post-production, which, believe me, it can go a long ways. Believe me, I've been there, done that. And, you know, if there's post-production issues, if ADR has to be done, sound is a huge, huge element. So I've been there, done that. Geez, getting more and more people in the chat. Hilly Billy Man is in there. Hey man, how you doing? Mandy Cantone and Heather Loves Horror. Thank you guys all for tuning in so soon. So if you guys love Halloween fan films, definitely go check out Drayton Timmons. Go subscribe to his channel. Anyways, he's got a great YouTube channel and his Indiegogo campaign. If you still would be interested in getting like a Blu-ray or a T-shirt or whatever, who knows? Apparently, this film is an unofficial sequel to H2O. So it's like an unofficial H4O. Apparently, it's 20 years after H2O. So, but in that universe, so it's interesting. I'm interested to see what he's going to do with that. That's for sure. Who else we got? And Michelle Appollonia is in the chat as well. So we got both Michelle A and Michelle B in the chat tonight. Hey, that's great. I love that. I love it when that happens. Speaking of Michelle, you guys all know, but some people might be new in the chat. Who knows? Michelle Appollonia, who's in our chat right now, has a little company called Breathless Beauties, and she makes custom horror-themed dolls. She did an awesome one for Bretman from Good Real Hunting. I saw the finished product. I believe today it looks awesome. These are just some of the ones that she's done. And this one here is the crow one. I really hope that Chris Snyder gets in touch with you because we showed him this last week on the show when he popped into the chat very briefly. And he's a massive crow fan, so hopefully Chris Snyder would be interested in that. And this is one I'm most interested in, Leatherface. I imagine that's sold already. And some Christmas stuff. I probably don't need to show the Christmas stuff anymore, but whatever, right? It's awesome work. So I mean, I love it. I just love her stuff. Go make sure you check her out. Her links are in the description. In there somewhere. Just look in the description for her Facebook and her Instagram. She does awesome, amazing work, and I love that. I love that I can share her work on my show every time I do it. It's a fun way to start the show. Is showing off some cool horror themed art. So thank you, Michelle, for tuning in and letting me share that stuff. And I'm sure Brett from Good Real Hunting is going to just absolutely love it. And hopefully Chris Snyder gets in touch with you. Hopefully. He has a great channel too. All these channels we're all like best buds. You know, well, not best buds, but you know. We're in the YouTube community. Good Real Hunting. Chris Snyder's YouTube. I think he recently renamed his channel. I can't remember what he renamed it to now. It's like Haunted Living... House of the Living Dead, I think. I think that's it. Chris Snyder, well, anyways. Mandy Cantone, love her dolls. Yeah, I love them. I love them too. I love them. One day I will order one. I still do have my wonderful elf. You might be able to barely see it sitting on the back underneath the picture of my daughter that you might see there. It's just kind of sitting there. It's in the show. There you go. Thank you so much, Michelle. So I do have that Elf from Christmas, which I love. I love it. Cool. There you go. So yes, Michelle, Appollonia, Breathless Beauties. It's going to be awesome. And there's Brett Man in the chat right now. Good Real Hunting. Hey, sorry I'm late. What's up? We were just talking about you, Brett. Michelle showed me the final product of your doll. It looks awesome. It looks awesome. If you'll let me, I'll share pictures on here next show, maybe. If you'll let me. I don't know. It's all good. Yeah, a lot of people in the chat tonight so far. That's good to see. Definitely good to see. Very good to see. And also a good opportunity to let you all know this weekend, pretty awesome stuff. We're shooting more additional footage for our brand new Indiegogo teaser for the Sawyer Massacre. Leatherface will be on set this weekend. This Saturday. It's all going to be this Saturday. We're going to shoot some stuff. And you guys, next week when we air the show, which will likely be Monday, by the way. Yes, next week will likely be Monday. Could be Wednesday, but probably Monday. You guys who tune in, we'll get the first sneak peek of some BTS behind-the-scenes footage. Hey, I like to treat you guys first. Of course, I will post that stuff to Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and whatnot as well. But, I want to treat you guys first. So you guys will get the first, we'll kind of look over that stuff next week so you can show you what we shot. And there's also some behind-the-scenes stuff from what we shot in Texas a few weeks back. So I'll share all that stuff. You guys will get it first. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to this weekend. We're probably going to get a little bit bloody this weekend, but it'll be fun. It's all in good fun. And we're going to have a pretty awesome trailer. I'm looking at the cut we have so far. And the music, I think I've pretty much finished writing and composing and laying down the music. It's pretty creepy. It's pretty creepy. So yeah, we're pretty excited. Glad you guys are all chatting in the chat. And at the end of the show, I want to try to save some time for questions. I'll try to save some time for questions. We don't have a lot to really go over in this discussion tonight, mind you. But you never know. Sometimes I ramble on, and you guys seem to like my rambling. So I'll just see how it goes. And, I haven't mentioned yet, if you guys haven't liked and subscribed to my channel yet, like this video. It's right there. Just hit the like button. I know you guys want to do it. I'm sure all of you have subscribed already, but if you haven't, please do. We're actually gained a bunch of new subscribers. I'm actually pretty ecstatic. Last week, we actually hit some milestones, not just for the channel, but for the trailer surpassed 200 likes. Now we're actually sitting at, I think, at 217 likes. So we've been pretty going up pretty good there lately. And the channel is over 850 subscribers. Actually, just the last week, we've shot up to, I think, 868 now we're at. If I can't look at it right now, but I'm pretty sure it's around there. And the Instagram page, too, the Chainsaw Sawyer Instagram page, crossed the 3,000 followers mark. Thank you guys so much. Hey, Lindsay Bodker just subscribed. Hey, that's why I mentioned it. And I think you're new in the chat, too, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe we've seen you before. Welcome to our show. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you don't hate my rambling too much, because I do tend to ramble sometimes. But it's all in good fun. So, there you go. It's pretty cool that we hit some of these milestones. I'm looking forward to more. A big goal of ours will be to hit 1,000 subscribers at some point during the next Indiegogo campaign, which will end around the end of April. So, man, we're only 130 subscribers away from that. I think it's totally possible. And if we do, I've mentioned this before on the show, if we do hit that mark, we're going to do a bit of a giveaway on this show. You have to be tuning, you have to be in the chat while we do our show. And I'll make an announcement and all that, and there'll be a giveaway in the chat. We might do a bit of trivia and stuff too. I don't do a lot of trivia, but I've done it before, so we might do it again. It'd be fun. Be fun. Who doesn't love a bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre trivia, right? That's what I think. So yes, thank you all for tuning in, and it really is humbling. I'm amazed at how much you guys have actually liked tuning into my show week after week. 20th show now. It's I don't know. I wasn't sure if I'd make it this far. Wasn't sure. You just never know. But you guys have stuck by me. You know, I worry that, you know, nobody's going to tune into my show some nights, and I'll be chatting by myself, and well, that's okay. But you know, if you're going to do the show live, you may as well have some people chatting. Found it through Instagram. Thank you, Lindsay. Yes, Instagram has been, I think, definitely my best source for finding new horror fans and Texas Chainsaw Massacre fans. Not that Facebook and Twitter aren't good either. They're I find probably 90% of the people I come into contact with are through Instagram for whatever reason. Because you know what? I never used to be a big Instagrammer. I'm going to be honest. Never was a big Instagrammer. And all of a sudden doing this movie, I became an Instagrammer. Oh, Michelle Blasky, hey, I wanted to say I saw your film Unseen. Was really cool. Had a Black Christmas feel to it. It was heavily inspired by it. I actually have a feature-length script for that, actually, Michelle. Just so you know. Because I feel it needs a feature-length. I don't feel like I totally got the message across through that short. A lot of things that people miss, and you know, I just needed the character needs more depth. Both characters need more. The protagonist and the antagonist both need more depth in a feature because there's a lot to them. And yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it though. We were going for that sort of Black Christmas feel. Sort of. I mean, it is its own thing, but at the same time, I just love that type of tone that Black Christmas has. Yeah. Anyways, and also I have a new film that's should be coming out not too long from now because the cut is done. I just have to do the music for it, edit the audio, but the audio is not that far off. So I think you know, in another month I could have another short film to show all you guys, and it's kind of too in that same sort of vein of Black. I don't know if you'd say Black Christmas, but it definitely feels pretty similar to Unseen, but maybe a little bit more away from Black Christmas than Unseen is. Unseen's pretty close to that style, whereas my new film, Disorder, is what it's called. It feels like Unseen, but it doesn't really feel like Black Christmas. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, you'll see. It's kind of my style, I guess. Really kind of like Dave McRae says, mood and atmosphere. I'm a mood and atmosphere kind of guy too. You're probably saying, why are you making a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film? Well, believe it or not, there is a lot of mood and atmosphere. It's totally different mood and atmosphere, but there is a lot of mood and atmosphere. Just so you know. Anyways, let's get on with the chat a little bit here. Because today we're talking about the Sawyer family members throughout the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. So I'll start by saying there's a few I don't really care to talk about. And some of you might want to talk about them, and that's cool. You guys can talk about them in the chat if you want. The biggest elephant in the room is probably going to be Chop Top, because Chop Top just doesn't really do a lot for me. To me, he's too campy. If you've tuned into my show in the past, I kind of talked about this before. It wasn't Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 wasn't my cup of tea. And I know a lot of people love it, and a lot of people love Chop Top, and he has a huge fan base. But at the end of the day, he wasn't really for me. So, so that's probably the biggest one you'll notice. Also I'm going to keep it strictly, I'll mention it, but the Sawyers, not the Hewitts, basically. With that being said, though, I'm going to say this, though. I do like some of the Hewitt family members. In fact, I really enjoy. I can say I probably even like some of them more than some of the ones I'm going to talk about tonight. That's fair to say. particularly obviously Arleigh Ermey as the sheriff, and I really liked the mother. I can't remember her name, her character name. They probably never mentioned it. Actually, they probably never mentioned her name in the film. But really, I liked her. She had a spooky vibe to her right off the bat at the store at the gas station. There was something spooky to her, and you knew that she was off. You knew that she probably knew Leatherface. you got that vibe. I also liked the older guy that was in the wheelchair. And his legs cut off. So those three members of the Hewitt family, I really dig. Not so much Leatherface in the remake, not so much, and not so much the weird, the big fat tea lady and the other weird looking lady, or the kid. I didn't care much for the little kid. I kind of didn't really I didn't understand him. There wasn't enough character development I felt for him. So anyways, that's my reasoning. Maybe if there was more development. Apparently the director of the remake said that they originally did shoot more stuff that gave him a backstory, but it didn't make it into the film because it was already too long for that type of film, and I don't know. But he even said, I saw it in an interview a while ago, he said, I wish we kind of put some of that, more of that in there. I can understand that because I didn't feel he did much. Not much. It wasn't a big wasn't a big deal for me. Anyways, so let's move on. First we'll talk about, who should we talk about first? Sure, we'll talk about the young girl from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Online it says her name is Babby or Baby. I'm not sure. It's Babi. Again, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 is not one of my favorites. Not a favorite of mine at all. It's kind of forgettable, but she does stick out. This little girl that seems so innocent and cute, yet so bad at the same time. It really gives her kind of a creepy vibe, you know. Drayton Sawyer is one of my favorite characters. Yes, too. I'll talk about him too. And just to want to also mention here, guys, that this is not a ranking in any way. I didn't feel like it would be right to rank any of these characters. I just didn't feel like this was something I would want to rank. I just want to talk about them a little bit. So yeah, Drayton Sawyer is one of my favorite characters too. We'll talk about him. What I like about him, you tell me what you like about him, all that kind of stuff. And feel free to ask me any questions along the way. Anyways, so this little girl, and I didn't even realize it while I was watching it for the first time or a second time. I think I've only watched this movie twice, and it's pretty forgettable for the most part. But the scene with this girl always kind of creeped me out a little bit, I have to admit. Her and the old mother lady there a little bit too, kind of reminiscent of the Hewitt mother in the remake. A little bit, not totally, but a little bit. You can kind of see that there. I also didn't realize that apparently she was Leatherface's daughter, but that's been pointed out to me. Who knows how? I don't know. Interesting though. Interesting. But you know, she was kind of creepy. She kind of stuck out. I kind of wonder who that actress is, if she's ever done anything other than that. Obviously she would be a full-grown woman by now, probably even older than me, because we're around my age anyways, because that was 1990. I would have been 10 in 1990. So yeah, she's probably at least my age, if not older. If not, but anyways, I've never seen her in anything. Baby doll. Okay, there you go. Hilly Billy Man knows. Hilly Billy Man knows. It just says baby with an I at the end, though. That's what I found online. I was trying to get names for all these people, and because again, the movie itself didn't do a lot for me. But certain characters in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, including her and the mom, and also, I would say to a point, this guy's name was Alfredo. He had a creepy vibe to him, too. The character had a creepy vibe. I don't think we got a lot of this character. Most of what we got of him was in the early stages of the film. So, I mean, he was he was creepy. I guess he was supposed to kind of feel a bit like the Hitchhiker, I think. From what I could tell. Again, he was obviously not exactly, but probably a more darker version of the Hitchhiker. Definitely had a creepy vibe to him, though. So I'll give that to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Is that these family members were kind of interesting. I didn't find Viggo Mortensen's character to be all that interesting. I love Viggo Mortensen, but I don't know. And it wasn't anything against his performance. It just, his character just didn't do anything for me. Yeah, you had no idea that was Leatherface's daughter either, eh? Hillbilly Man. Yeah, I had no idea. Not that I don't think I don't actually think that's a bad idea. I think the execution on it was probably not the best. Again, maybe I should rewatch that movie again or at least that scene to see how it was explained. I don't know. I don't know. I have my own theories on how, on a lot of this stuff. And but I should see how they would have done it in that, because at the same time, there is a mother figure in that movie. And I always believed that if inbreeding was a possibility, that's what would happen. Now, I'm not saying that in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Leatherface did it with his mother and that was their baby. But I don't know. Again, I don't know how. I have to look at that scene again to see how it was explained. But inbreeding to me was always a big thing that was kind of implied. And, in the original, there's you don't have any female people to do that with, at least not anymore by the looks of it. So maybe there was, but yeah. I have Michael Burns in the chat says Viggo was dull. Yeah. I thought he was kind of dull. But I like Viggo Mortensen. And again, he's not a bad, his acting itself wasn't bad, just the character was dull. Sometimes it's these characters. There was another character that was supposed to be kind of Chop Top-ish in that. I guess kind of a more tamed Chop Top, which I can appreciate that. But again, it was just, I didn't feel much for the character. I can't remember that character's name either. Chose not to really dive into those particular characters because they don't do anything for me. Lindsay Bodker says maybe he had a good personality aside from the brutal murdering. Maybe Leatherface hooked up with some local chick, and but what happened to her though? Well, I remember there was maybe he raped one of his victims too. I mean, because there was those two sisters at the beginning. He killed one of them, and the other one kind of was there for more of the film, but didn't really have a purpose. So who knows? It could have been one of their kids too. I don't know. It's and the execution of that film was just terrible. Potential, but just terrible. Ugh. I always felt there was potential in a lot of these films, but they just poorly written. That's all I can say. All right, so who should we talk about next? Okay, let's get Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 4 out of the way here, because I don't like the movie, but who doesn't love some Matthew McConaughey as Vilmer? He makes the movie watchable. He makes it watchable. I can honestly say I'm not quite as bored through Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, The Next Generation, whatever you want to call it, as I am with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. There's so many issues with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 that I can't get. It's a hard watch, and if I do make it all the way through, I don't remember most of what happened because it was just, but at least with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, he elevates it a little bit. He's pretty much the only real reason why I don't hold Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4 in last place on my rankings. If you haven't seen my ranking video that I did on the series, it's somewhere back there. You look through Merlo's Movie Massacre, it's there. But, needless to say, it made it in third last spot, only losing out to Texas Chainsaw 3D and Leatherface, which none of the family members from those movies will be mentioned at this point. I mean, I guess Drayton was in 3D, but it's, it's not really Drayton. It's Bill Moseley playing Drayton. It's Chop Top playing Drayton. But, I guess it's Drayton, but whatever. He had, Vilmer, Matthew McConaughey as Vilmer had some pretty interesting scenes. The one with he's putting the gun in his mouth and like, sure, kill me or whatever he's saying there. Again, I don't watch this movie very often, but I remember that scene and the craziness. It was a bad, crazy kind of vibe. I dug it. If you could put all the best Sawyer members in one movie and with the best possible Leatherface, hey, you could make a good movie there, couldn't you? Degree Centigrade is in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in, by the way. I love all of you. I love you all. I love you all. Oh, Michelle, you haven't seen 3, eh? You're not missing much. But if you want to watch it just so you can tell me how that girl is Leatherface's daughter, if they even explain it, I don't know. And I almost don't want it explained. I hope they didn't write out... Again, I can't. You would think I would know. But apparently, it was said somewhere that she's his daughter. Apparently. Who knows? I have to watch it again. It's been a few years. I don't know. It's a boring movie. That's all I can say. Texas Chainsaw 3 is boring. It's really boring. But and you know what? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4 is kind of boring. It's only watchable because of Matthew McConaughey. I didn't even really like. Honestly, I didn't even really like Renee Zellweger in it. Leatherface is so annoying in that one. Leatherface is kind of annoying in a lot of these movies. You know what I don't understand why they keep doing with Leatherface in all these movies is really showing how retarded he's supposed to be. I get it. He has a mental disability, and even in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, there's that everything is food. He only identifies every object with food. Just to show that he's mentally not there, that he's mentally simple. I don't see the point in doing that. I get it. He is, but do we need to show it every movie? Because it just makes him seem so goofy. All that stuff just makes him seem so goofy. It's got to be more subtle. We got it. After the original movie, did you really need to explore that part of him again? I don't know. Don't expect me to explore it in my film, guys, because I'm not denying it. I'm not going to deny that he has some sort of mental retardation or whatever the correct term is now. Apparently that the word retarded is now derogatory. Back in the 80s when I grew up, it wasn't. It was just the word for it. What is mentally handicapped? I guess that's the or mentally disabled. I think that's the proper term now, politically correct term now. But anyways, I just don't think it's I don't think we need to show that part of him, because it's already implied that this is a pretty basic minded person. And who's to say he couldn't be smart in some ways, right? You know, he's obviously good at his job. So I think we should accent stuff like that, what he's good at, you know. Of course, you want to see some flaws too. But anyways, we're getting a little bit off topic. Does anybody have anything interesting to say about Vilmer from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, The Next Generation, other than what I've said already? I mean, Matthew McConaughey is one of those actors that in some roles, I love the guy. In other movies he makes, it's like, I want my money back, man. This would be one of those movies, but I don't really blame him so much. Because it was a poorly made movie. I hate to say it. It was a poorly made movie, poorly written movie. Yeah, it was just weird. A lot of weird movies in this franchise, for sure. But anyways, that's how I feel. There you go. I think in the remakes, he did a decent job of showing what he was good at something. Yeah, the only thing I agree with you actually there, Michael. I will say that they didn't emphasize the goofy, mentally disabled Leatherface, whereas the only thing I don't like is they kind of, instead of that, they made him out to be like a bully type of person. I just I wasn't feeling that aspect of Leatherface. It really didn't work for me. Hopefully you guys will like the way I'm going with Leatherface. I think you guys will, but we'll see. Not everybody will. Can't please everybody, right? But look at him in my trailers, and in the trailer that we've got, and you kind of get a gist for him. Obviously, we're not showing his face at this point because we're custom making the masks, and I don't want to show you guys that until you've seen the movie. I want watching the movie to be your first experience seeing our Leatherface. I don't know. I think it's to me it's something you want to wait for. Because again, we're doing something pretty special with it. I will say this though, we're gonna have a little glimpse in our trailer of Leatherface. It's a very fast. If some of you hardcore people put it into an editing program and you slow it down frame by frame, you'll get the glimpse. But anyways, it was the only mask that I had previously shot with that I was willing to show in the trailer at all. It's by no means going to be a mask that we're going to show in the film, but it's the closest representation that we have used thus far. It definitely gives you an idea of the look we're going for, basically. But you'll have to wait for the teaser to come out on March 1st. Yes. Anyways, moving along. Michael Bird said, what did he say? I felt more like an autism kind of angle in the remakes that could control his rage, kind of a Michael Myers thing. Not really a bully type of thing. I don't know. Well, I could kind of see the autism angle. What kind of... Here's a good question for you all. What kind of mental illness really should Leatherface suffer from? That's autism is not a bad one. I would say that. I don't know if I really got that vibe, and I only say that because it's possible, mind you, but I only say that because I've known tons of autistic people over my life. I used to play in a band with an my stepsister has a son that's autistic, and I used to teach all kinds of autistic students when I taught guitar or taught music for a living. I used to get autistic kids all the time. It's just, I've kind of seen all the different forms of autism. I don't know. I could see it, but I don't really feel it though. That's just me though. And I only say it because I've known so many autistic people. But I do think that would be an interesting angle for Leatherface. But it would have to be done right. No matter what, I mean, you can make Leatherface autistic, but if it's not executed properly, then I don't know. Asperger's, that's what my old bandmate used to have, or not used to have. He does have. He's still around, and I played with that guy. I was on the road with that guy for a few years. For a few years, boy, oh boy, did we get on each other's nerves sometimes. But but it's not a Asperger's is not an extreme form of autism. It's not considered, at least not here in Canada. It's not, because I know, because I work in the financial industry, and I was trying to get that same friend a government grant that we offer here. Anyways, if you're Canadian, you might know about that or not. But they don't consider Asperger's a strong enough form of autism, basically. So, and he's really intelligent. I will say that. He's just very eccentric. My friend with Asperger's. But anyways, don't ever. It's but I like that though, Michael. I think that there could be an interesting angle there. I've seen different forms of autism, and I do think that one of the different forms that I've seen could work with Leatherface, in my opinion. But again, it's about execution. Kind of getting off topic here, but hey, you know what? Leatherface is a Sawyer too, and we've seen so many iterations of the character, so many different versions over the years. It just it's worth talking about him a little bit too. So anyways, moving on, we can pretty much move on to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre characters, because I really don't want to talk about any of the other ones. I really don't. Sorry, guys. I don't want to talk about any of the ones from Texas Chainsaw 3D or Leatherface. Not that there was a lot. I mean, technically Drayton was in both of them, and the Hitchhiker was in Leatherface from 2017, but unrecognizable to me. I didn't get any of the characteristics from either of those, so we'll just kind of ignore them. Anyways, but let's talk Drayton Sawyer here for a bit, okay? The late great Jim Sedow played this role very, very well twice. Mind you, a little bit campy in the second one. Well, it was a campier version of the character, I guess. So whatever, it's all good. I'll always remember him from the original, when he was just in the credits. He was just referred to as Old Man, I think, just as Old Man. I think the cook came even the name the cook came a little bit after that, but yeah. It's very, very interesting, because I think there's a lot you can do with this character. I think there's a lot more to Drayton. I feel like there's a lot more to Drayton than meets the eye. He's love Jim Sedow, yeah, who doesn't? But the character, we're talking about the character here. Jim Sedow was really the only person that played the character right for me. Nothing against those other actors, and I'm hoping that John Tague, who we cast to play Drayton, will do a good job. I think he will. But we're taking Drayton in a different way in our film a little bit too. but we're making sure we're respecting the character. But you will definitely be in our film. You will definitely be in our film. So he's a bit of a mystery at first, though, Drayton, right? You can almost kind of wonder if you almost kind of think he's a good guy, right? You guys agree when you first meet Drayton, you wouldn't suspect necessarily, but you could suspect. It's like you could be like, I wonder if this guy. Whereas the Hitchhiker, as soon as you meet him, this guy's nuts, and he's got to be part of whatever this movie's about. Who knows? Or maybe you would think that the whole town or the whole county or whatever is full of these people. Who knows? But you definitely get that vibe from the Hitchhiker right off the bat. Whereas with Drayton, he seems like a pretty normal, helpful guy. And you don't necessarily think that he could be bad until we get to that scene in the barbecue shack later, when Sally's back there later. Because he seems pretty helpful. He seems pretty ordinary. And I always kind of feel like he probably wanted to be ordinary. He probably doesn't. He probably doesn't like the chaos that happens with the Hitchhiker and Leatherface and blah blah blah. He probably is against all this chaos and just wishes that things could be done a little bit simpler. I kind of got that vibe from him a little bit. So I mean, but at the end of the day, he is in control for the most part. He is the boss. He's the boss of the family. Right? I mean, obviously, Grandpa would be the boss, but he's unable to be the boss. He's unable to do anything other than be a vegetable, right? So that makes, Drayton has to be the man. He's the man. But it's I think there's some interesting angles with that character that you could take, and you can see different in the performance. You can see different variations. Like, he never wanted to be a part of the killing. He said, it's just something I can't do, but I understand it. And whatever he said in that scene, he's like, you're just a cook. Like, I can't take no joy in killing. I think that shows a lot to the character. He understands that it has to be done, but he don't want to be a part of it. And that's kind of like a lot of people too. Hey, Matt Fauci's in the chat as well. Hey, thanks for coming on. I tuned into your chat your show a little bit earlier. I couldn't stay as long as I wanted. I was there for about 20 minutes, I think, but then I had to attend to my daughter. But yeah, go check out Fauci's Fauci Monster Cinema channel. It's another great channel, guys. What did Michael? The submissive patriarch. Yes, I agree with that, Michael Burns. Yes, he's let it happen. He didn't necessarily want to have this way of life, but he let it happen to himself and let himself be part of this whole thing, because it's family. At the end of the day, he's a family guy. I think that's one thing we get through the whole Sawyer family, is that it's family means everything. Even from the very first movie, even though there's so much chaos and there's so much disagreements between all of them, it's you really see that. It's you could still see that family bond between everybody. It's funny how it's there. But I think it symbolizes a lot of stuff too with humans in general. How we are very family drawn. We love our families, and we want to keep having family. We want to keep the family line going. That seems to be a common theme, I think, is to keep that family line going, and always do it for the good of the family, I like that angle, though. It's very true to humanity. It is. Which is why the population of the world just keeps growing and growing and growing. Eventually, I don't know, Yeah, I watched this documentary not too long ago with my wife about how the population at one point is going to more or less level out and even decrease a little bit. I don't know. I hope that happens. So, otherwise, a lot of shit could happen. We'll see. Anyways, moving along here, guys. It's already 8:46. We still gotta talk about, hey, Grandpa. Oh, having a tasty snack in this picture. Love Grandpa. Was very, very honored to get to work with John Dugan for our trailer, providing Grandpa's first ever voice his first ever voice, at least. I think Grandpa maybe had some lines in the recent Leatherface, maybe, or at least something basic. But this is the first real voice in our trailer. Is the first real voice that you get for Grandpa, and from what I can tell you, anyways. And it's done by none other than John Dugan. It just makes sense. So happy that he was able to do that for us. So, Grandpa is. What can we say about Grandpa? Well, when you first meet him, you think he's dead. Yet he looks creepy as hell, man. I gotta say, you think he's dead, and they're just because Grandma's there too, and she's even deader looking than him. And well, she's definitely dead. If they try to make us believe that she was alive, well, then we got some. That would have been taking it too far. Whereas when Grandpa comes alive at sucking Sally's blood in that very scene that's the first real kind of life we've got to see of Grandpa. There is something just terrifying about that to me. To me, it's absolutely terrifying. Because you think this guy's dead. I think there's no way this guy's alive. And then all of a sudden he starts sucking on it. He's like a child nursing. That was the direction John got, apparently, for that scene. It just, to me, it's just so creepy. Yeah, I think Grandpa's an interesting character. If there was really to be any kind of origin story for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think his story would be the one thing I could get behind. Apparently, somebody was trying to do that a few years back. I think there's still a trailer online for. It was called The Best There Ever Was. I think they only made the trailer. It was a pretty good looking trailer. It had some story issues that kind of bugged me, but as far as how well it was shot and acted, it looked really professional. But I guess it was more like a timeline thing for me, whereas Grandpa looked about 50 years old and Leatherface is there like a 10-year-old kid. And if Grandpa was 120 or something like that in the original, that means Leatherface would have to be about 80 in the original. So I mean, it was a age thing that didn't work for me. But other than that, it was a pretty well shot trailer. I don't think they ever got to make that movie, unfortunately. Because I never heard anything about it since. Again, well shot trailer. Interesting concept. I think there is something interesting there. In my opinion, John Dugan's the only person that should ever play Grandpa, though. In my opinion. Whether that could ever come to light, I don't know. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see Grandpa at the turn of the century. I don't know. I think there's a story there. See what kind of, motivated him to. I don't know. I think there could be something pretty cool there. Not that I would ever do it as a fan film or anything. I don't think I would. Mostly because I just don't. If you did that, you couldn't put Leatherface in it. And I love Leatherface too much. Oh, man. What are you guys saying in the chat? I'm missing a lot of your chats, guys. What do we got here? I have to go back a bit. Dugan is great. Yep. Best damn meat in town. Hilly Billy, man. Grandpa's the best there was. He'd get them all in one whack. Yeah. They said he killed, what was it? He killed 60 in 5 minutes once. They said he would have got more if the hook and pole game would have got the bees out of the way faster. I like that line from Drayton there from Jim Sedow. I think that's what that line is. I have to double check it, but it's like a hook and pull gang. What's the hook and pull guy? I don't know. It's probably an old school slaughterhouse term. Grandpa is the best in every. Grandpa is the best part of every movie that he's including. Yes, but at the same time, he probably only really. I actually agree with that. He might be the best character in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 when I think about it. You know, it's Grandpa was really good. But he's creepiest in the first one for sure. See, that was one of my favorites. Says Michelle Blasky. Grandpa looked like a vampire in part 2. Yeah. Well, I mean, he kind of looks like a vampire in the original too, in the original as well, but different kind of vampire. I guess I don't know. I think he was actually dead in part 3. I can't even remember. Probably was. I don't know. You know, with here's another issue I have with like part 3 and part 4. It's like, is it actually connected to the original, or are these just more kind of reimaginings? So I don't really see they're different characters other than Leatherface. I don't know, but Grandpa's there. But you know, I don't know. Like, who's Alfredo? I mean, is Alfredo supposed to actually be the hitchhiker? Did he actually live through that? No. I don't know. Where was I? Michael Bird's creepy as fuck. That's right. Michelle Blasky, I think I noticed that character in your trailer and immediately saw him as Jim Sedow. If that was the same guy. Which character? Which character are we talking about, Michelle? There was a character in Drayton was in the trailer. Drayton was in the trailer. Can you tell me which one it was, though? Yes. So, although Drayton will not be in our new trailer, I'll say that. We've kind of minimalized it a lot more, but we tried to show like every character in the film pretty much in that first trailer. We wanted to condense down the characters in our next trailer. So, hopefully that still looks good to you guys. I think so. I don't think you need to see every character necessarily. But, you know, anyways, moving along here. Yes, dude, you make that movie after this one. The prequel, the origin story of Grandpa. I think there's definitely an interesting story. I don't know if I'd want to tell that one, though. I don't know if I would want to. I think whoever that was, maybe they had a good story. I just don't see how you could put Leatherface in it if Grandpa's like 50. I don't even think you can really put Drayton in it. Because, I mean, even Drayton was like maybe mid-50s. Grandpa's it's like, I don't know. Unless you do it like over different time periods, you know. You show Grandpa as like a young 20-year-old, then a 40-year-old, and then a 60-year-old, and then an 80-year-old. I don't know. Go through different time periods. That might be the only way to do it. Hey, the Lazy Reviewer is back again. You were here last week as well. Thank you for tuning in. Just saw one of your reviews today. I liked it. It was good. I like how you are very subjective. Give your honest opinions on everything, not just the positives. So thank you for tuning in. Michelle Blasky says, the way I always saw them as a makeshift nuclear family. Sedow was the male head of the household care. Leatherface takes on the role as the mother, and the hitchhiker as a kid. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Yeah. I think, yeah, in definitely in a sense, I do feel like Leatherface is more than just a mother, though. More than just a mother. I feel like he's like the real worker of the family. Now, in a lot of cases, the mother is the real worker of the family, but not just a mother. I mean, he's almost taking on like the mother and I don't know. I wouldn't say father, but I don't. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, though. Do you understand what I'm saying, though? Sometimes I don't even understand what I'm saying. But anyways, moving along. So that's Grandpa. Very interesting character for sure. Again, I love that, it's all of a sudden he's alive. He's alive? Anyways, let's talk about the Hitchhiker here to end all this off. Wow, man. The performance Ed Neal gave as the Hitchhiker was crazy. And there's definitely a fine line. Like, to me, there's a difference between Ed Neal as the Hitchhiker, or Nubbins, if you want to call him that, whatever. I still don't like giving names to any of these characters. I like the Hitchhiker, I like Grandpa, and I like the cook. But anyways, rather than Drayton. But you look at the difference between those two characters, and what was I gonna say here? Chop Top, to me, he's just he can be a lot of fun, I guess, for some people. I don't know. I think they tried to just go straight out comedy with that character, and it wasn't really that funny to me. If I'm being honest, I know I'm sure a lot of you people love Chop Top, and I'm not. I don't want to take anything away from the character for those of you who love him, but that's just the way I feel about it. I don't feel like Chop Top was real. He was crazy, but not. I didn't buy the character, I guess you could say. Whereas the Hitchhiker, I bought every second of that performance, because he gave you so many layers of his crazy side. When you first meet him, he looks odd, but he also looks kind of scared at the same time too. He kind of, when he's in that van meeting these people for the first time, you almost get this sort of paranoid feel from him, and they're like, "Where are you headed, man?" And he's like, "South," of course, I can't, I'm not an actor, folks, but, well, kind of an actor. I mean, believe it or not, I won an award for my acting, but anyways, I don't consider myself an actor. I don't. But that first little bit of that scene, he comes across a little bit more scared, and then he built, it's like as got to know him more, as he got to know them more, he felt more comfortable being himself, which is a very true to most of these types of mental illness people with that sort of mental illness. Again, this specifically sort of that schizophrenic, paranoid, delusional schizophrenia sort of thing. And I think that's why this character works so well. Also, not to mention, I knew of somebody who is very similar to that. Chopped Up is twin brother of Nubbins. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he is. Apparently. But I've heard that a million times. Yeah. But yeah, it's Michael Byrne's amazing performance. I always think of what Rob Zombie once said, paraphrasing, of course. Are these actors, or do they just, find real people? But even Ed Neal said he based it off of his nephew, I believe, who has that kind of schizophrenic type of mental illness. So I think it's easier when especially if you're an actor and you know somebody with this kind of mental illness, and you've been around it and you know the mannerisms and all that kind of stuff. It's easier for you to get into that character. So I think that's a big part of it. I mean, I don't think Ed Neal was really a method actor or anything like that, at least not that I know of, but it helped him to have somebody in his family that he had been around enough, and he was able to read the dialogue and say, "Oh my God, this is my nephew. I'm going to play my nephew in this." And it worked. Holy crap, man. It works so well. And again, I knew somebody with that same kind of mental illness as well. And boy, was this guy crazy. I knew him more as a kid too. Knew him more as a young teenager. I've seen him a little bit when he's older, but man, he's a weird guy. Weird guy. And I get that same kind of vibe from him. It's the exact same vibe. They must have the same mental illness. So I mean, yeah, I can understand that. It's a great performance. It really is. It's underlooked in my opinion. Honestly, all those performances are pretty underlooked when it comes to when you talk about acting in horror movies. I've heard so many times that the acting in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was subpar. I disagree with that. I think it's actually above par, quite a bit above par. I think some people can think that because of maybe how plain some of the performances were, but they were, at the end of the day, those plain performances. Of course, we're not talking about Ed Neal as the hitchhiker at this point. We're talking about Kirk and Jerry and I guess even Pam to an extent, but again, they felt like real people though. They felt like real people, and I cannot blame the acting for that. If anything, it was maybe, if you could blame anything, it would be the script, but I don't blame anything because I love them. I think they're all great. I think they're all real characters, and I don't subscribe to that idea that the acting is bad at any point in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, even though Franklin can be a little annoying and blah 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 and whatever. Even Franklin though, he's realistic. He's a realistic, obnoxious style. It's. I believe it. Anyways. I don't think Franklin is as annoying as he's made out to be sometimes. Yeah, that whole spasm in the, that was a little much maybe, but other than that, he was pretty, he was just a little whiny. He was having a bad day. The guy was having a bad day, folks. Everybody had a bad day in that movie, though. I think that was one thing that Tobe Hooper had said at some point. The movie's basically in this movie, everybody has a bad day. Franklin, Leatherface, everybody had a bad day. It's true. When you think about it, everybody did have a bad day in that movie. It was not good. It really was the stars or the planets or Saturn was really, this is a bad day for everybody. But yeah, what more can I actually say about the Hitchhiker's performance? Man, I wonder if this was a studio movie made with a lot of money behind it, if the performance would have been appreciated a little more. And same with Marilyn Burns too. Like Sally, because those performances are so realistic, they're so intense. And you never doubt them for a second. Awesome stuff. I look forward to seeing how we can show the Hitchhiker in my film. I'm not going to spoil anything. The Hitchhiker does show up in my film. I had a hard time casting him. I'll tell you that. I had a hard time casting him. He's a younger, more kid version of he's always kind of a kid anyways, but at least he always kind of felt mentally as a kid, but he'll actually be more of a kid, like 16, 17 in our film. So anyways, that's all I can really say about that, man. I think it's a great character, a great performance. Obviously, the version we got in 2017's Leatherface was nothing like that. Nothing like it. But it is what it is. It's so funny that some of these studios can have such big money to put into it, and it's like the performances are not even close to what this movie did. That was made, what was this movie made for? $80,000. I think it's weird. But anyways, I thought the lazy reviewer says I thought they all gave great performances, especially Sally. Holy shit, her screams are some of the most disturbing screams I've ever heard in a movie. Again, a lot of that was real screams, though, too. A lot of it was, I think, I've heard by the end of the filming of the movie, they were real because she just was so terrified that this filming was never going to end. They shot for like 36 hours straight when they did that dinner table scene. And apparently, when after they finished they thought it was a wrap. They looked back at the footage. They didn't get the last shot, so she had to crawl back in that truck again. And so that intense screaming, that hysterical performance you see of her laughing and kind of laughing and screaming in the back of the truck, that's like genuine. She's like, get me out of this. I really just drive off, drive it, because I'm done with this film. I would have been too. Man, it's a shame obviously now there's restrictions. There's more restrictions when filming, and it probably Tobe Hooper would have been sued if he tried to make that film today with those types of conditions and everything. But man, oh man, what amazing shit you got in a film because of that. It's just, it's remarkable. It's remarkable. I did like the actor that played Drayton in Leatherface 2017. Oh, really? I couldn't see Drayton. Maybe he's a good actor. I wasn't feeling Drayton at all. But I was trying to find Drayton in that performance, and I just couldn't see it. I just couldn't see it. But, it looked like Sally really got hit with the chainsaw, too. She may have. You never know. I mean, I know that they did take the chain off for at least a couple of sequences. I'm not sure if that was one of them. But I know what shot you're talking. It was kind of a wider shot. It was kind of a wide, and the depth of field, it's hard to know for sure. Probably, I don't know. It looked like she could have. I know exactly what shot you're talking about. So yeah, I can, yeah, it's possible, but who knows? Who knows? But what an amazing ending to an amazing film. Bridget Barnes, is that? New chatter, I believe. Hey, finally made it, she says. I'm guessing I know you from Instagram too, because we were talking about this earlier. About 90% of the people that come into my live stream are from Instagram, if not more. I haven't actually done an official. I don't know. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Finally made it. Please do hit the like and subscribe if you haven't. I'd appreciate it. A good amount of chatters. If we have a little bit of time, a few minutes here, if any of you guys want to ask me any questions about anything, it doesn't have to be about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's cool if it is. It can be about the Sawyer Massacre as well, my indie fan film that I'm doing, or it could be about what kind of sandwiches I like, or what's another good thing? What color my socks are, or what type of pants I like to wear, or am I wearing pants? Ooh, that's for me to know and you to find out. If you guys have anything you guys want to chat about in the last few minutes here, otherwise, we'll call it a day. But I'm glad that Bridget Barnes, you made it. Hopefully you'll make it into more. I hope so. We've had a fun little chat. If you caught any of it, great. If not, you can always go back and watch the replay. But it is so much fun to chat in here and just have fun and talk about all this wonderful stuff we're talking about. Tonight we're talking about Sawyer family members, and it was a lot of fun. Michael Burns, like the sub. Thanks for the show, Merlo. Oh, Michael, I totally thought you already did sub to my channel. I don't know. But thank you for doing that. Anyways, I appreciate it. Because my goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of our Indiegogo campaign, which hasn't even started yet, by the way. It doesn't start till March, and it'll go till the end of April. So I think it's totally doable. We got about 130 subscribers to go for that. So yeah, I think we can do it. And then we'll do a giveaway. It'll be an awesome channel giveaway. It'll be awesome. I think we have another new chatter here all of a sudden. Jeez. Where are all these new chatters coming from? Alexandre Campu. I hope I probably butchering your name. I'm guessing that's French. It sounds pretty French. I live in Canada, so there's a fair amount of French people around here. What did you think about the remake? Oh, I did a video about that. I'm not a big fan. There's certain things I love about it. I feel like it was a missed opportunity overall. I feel like it was a missed opportunity. There's some really great elements, but there's some other elements that just bring it down for me. It's one of those, I go back to the remake every once in a while just to see if I'm going to like it a little bit more, and it never happens. It never quite happens. It's like just certain things bother me. But if you like, and Alexander, I don't know. I'm going to say Alexander. I have a brother named Alexander, but it's with the ER at the end rather than an RE. So I never know how to pronounce the French, the more French version, I guess. Oh, Alex 2 King. Yes, your Instagram as well. I met you from. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'll see if I can send you the link to the video where I actually talked about the remake. If I'm actually in my rankings, I believe I rank it at number 2, but that's after the original. But there's still, I have so many issues with it that I just I wish I could give it a higher ranking, but there's but I can't. Even with the things I love in it, I can't give it a higher ranking. Anyways, yes, French. So let me ask you this: are you French Canadian or are you from France? That's a question I have for you, Alexander. Because I'm from Canada. I am Canadian. I'm from Western Canada, though, so we don't speak a lot of French over on this end. It's mostly Eastern Canada that speaks all the French, whereas we don't here. They do teach, mind you, they do teach a bit of French in school. I never really took it much. I actually ended up taking German at one point, which I caught on to a lot easier than French for some reason. Anyways, that's getting to be enough. But yeah, let me know, Alexander, are you French Canadian or from France? Oh, you are French Canadian. There you go. We're in the same country, my friend. From Quebec or Ontario, or I'm from BC. So you know, just saying, I'm from BC. You probably get a lot more snow where you are than we do here. But anyways, yeah, nice to meet you, Alexander. Again, I have a brother named Alexander. We just call him Alex. Can I just call you Alex or Al or whatever? It's all good. But anyways, that should do it for me tonight, guys. Thank you all for hanging out in the chat. Please do hit that like and subscribe button. And we'll see you next week on Monday. Monday, I'm going to do a ranking video. Quebec. Yes. Alexander's from Quebec. There you go. I'm going to do a ranking video. I'm not going to announce exactly what I'm ranking at this point, but I'm going to do a ranking. So I hope you guys tune in for that. My ranking videos always seem to do pretty well. So, yeah, tune into that, and you'll be able to share your rankings for my topic as well. And you guys are awesome. I love you all so much, and we'll see you on Monday, everybody. Monday is the next show. You guys have yourselves an awesome night.